Hello, everyone. This is RAMCCALL here. So, welcome back to my journey to $1 million in monthly revenue. For those of you that don't know, last update, I presented a second website to the overall sort of quote unquote case study, which is pretty interesting to see the overall growth. And the website that I had presented was started right at around the same time as the initial website I presented on this channel, and it has experienced quite a bit of growth since then, even past what my initial website that I presented on this channel is. So without further ado, I'm going to be going through my inspirations list as well as the overall performance and revenue and projected goals for the rest of this year for both websites and the overall portfolio. So let's get into it. As always, as far as my inspiration goes and, people that I've personally have learned from, I always recommend going to Passive Income Geek. His name's Morton. I'm in his course, and he does a fantastic job and is frankly just really pretty honest about his overall approach to creating, these little websites and whatnot on the web. And if you want to learn more, go check out his channel. I don't have any affiliate links at all. All I'm saying is if you want to obtain even free information, just check out his YouTube channel. And he's really honest and really just a great, modest, and humble guy. Highly recommend him. Second one is Below Average Blogger, and he's someone I've been kind of following over the past few months and over the past year really, and seeing his growth for his little portfolio of websites. And his name is Mike, excuse me, and he's a really cool guy as well. Passive Income Unlocked, these guys are just totally killing it. Their last update for December, actually, they almost hit their goal of about $50,000 per month in monthly revenue. And then I just watched their latest update, and it's about $25,000 in monthly revenue for January. Now, the reason that is obviously is because of the January, RPMs or revenue per 1,000 visitors is basically slashed in half because January apparently is, the lowest ad spending month or quarter of the entire year. But yeah, check them out. And then lastly, Growth Scatter. This guy hasn't really uploaded that many videos since about 3 or 4 months ago, but he basically front loaded like 1,000 or more articles to his one particular website, and about like 8 or 9 months later he was already making like $20,000 a month, which to me is just wild. Now, in regards to my personal little portfolio that I'm showcasing on this channel, I have two websites. The initial website, which I had presented, and then this website, which I presented last update. So, as you can see, the January page views have gone up slightly. They haven't skyrocketed, but they're increasing substantially or little by little, month over month, which is good to see. And it has like some peaks and valleys and things like that. So it's a little seasonal throughout the week, and I'm also anticipating it to be a little seasonal throughout the year as well. But as you can see, the average time on page is quite excellent. It's about 4.5 minutes, as well as the page views of about 21,000. And that's strictly for the month of January of 2022. And as far as like Google Search Console, and again, I think Google Search Console can be a really good way of sort of telling the overall performance of your website and the performance in such a way that Google Analytics can't really tell. And that's because it gives you the overall total clicks as well as the total impressions, the click-through rate, and the position of each sort of query or page on Google itself. So if you're kind of worried that your website isn't really growing or heading in the right direction, just head on over to Google Search Console, because that can give you a greater inclination as to, really how is your website doing and are there things that you can improve on. But I'm pleased to kind of see this in the sense that the total clicks as well as the impressions are going up quite a bit month over month compared to December, which was a very high traffic month. And this month, you can obviously see that the traffic and overall impressions are still increasing. The click-through rate and position are a little bit lower, but that's just because I anticipate that due to the volume of content that I add every month. So it just takes a little bit more time for the new content to rank. And the fact that it's still within or underneath in terms of the average position of 20 and the average click-through rate is still above like 4%, hey, I'm happy with it. And so one thing I was able to do too was actually finally get this website onto Ezoic. And I had some troubles getting my first website on Ezoic, and then I also had a little bit of trouble getting this one on Ezoic as well. But anyways, I was finally able to get it on about halfway, or I guess 3/4 into the month of January. And so I was able to get a little bit more analytics in terms of, the overall earning potential for the website, as well as, how much traffic is being served by Ezoic on their ad platform, if you will. And just in case you're wondering about the low EPMV, since I'm filming this in February and I took this screenshot specifically for January, and since I literally just put the website onto Ezoic, I have noticed that the EPMV is starting to slowly but surely climb up to around $15 per 1,000 visitors. So I'm really hoping in the next update that the EPMV will increase quite a bit as well. But this is kind of what it looks like. I already made about, $54 in the span of just a handful of days. So, hey, I'll take it. And as far as the second website goes, the traffic is still increasing about 500 to 700 page views per month, month over month. And this is the one that I presented on the channel originally, and it's still just killing it, in my opinion. After about 3 months, it's already at 6,400 page views. I mean, I'd say that's pretty good. And it has about 315 articles on it, I believe, but I'll get to that in just one moment. But you can see that the traffic throughout the week even is still relatively static. So I'm hoping that throughout the year, as articles start performing better and ranking better and acquiring more market share in the form of page views, that this traffic will start to increase substantially as well. And then likewise, the Google Search Console performance is still showing an upward trajectory. And that's really all I'm looking for. I just want to be able to see constant growth month over month for both of these little websites. I don't really care how much it's growing, because I understand that your websites will tend to consolidate over time. But as long as you can show improvements month over month, then those percentage gains will start to compound. And as your traffic grows even more, it'll really start to skyrocket. And that's what I believe, or that's why I believe that a lot of people tend to sort of notice that hockey stick growth. Eventually, the growth will just start compounding on itself, and then before you know it, you have like 1 million page views, right? But yeah, so the total impressions for this website, it's gone up about 39,000. That's pretty good. Same with the total clicks. It's gone up about 1,000, or a little bit more than that, maybe. The click-through rate and average position are heading in the right direction as well. So I haven't really added too much content to this month at all, actually, because I'm really trying to focus in on the previous website I was just showing y'all, because I believe that due to the high U.S. traffic percentage of about 90%, I think that website will be the greatest use of my time going forward. But I will still consider this website in this little case study, because I will start to be adding more content to this one as well, as I start generating more revenue for the overall business. Now, as far as January's revenue goes, I made about $43, and hey, I'm happy with it. And as far as EPMVs, I'm not really too concerned about that currently, because January is just a really bad month in terms of overall earnings to begin with. So I'm going to start reassessing this website's earning potential in the next few months. So take this with a grain of salt as well. And as always, this is just a simple little depiction of the tools used. I use Keyword Chef primarily to find all my topics that I write about, as well as Google search. And in compilation with that, You want to really find underserved topics, and you can do that also by using Google search specifically, by doing like people also ask or looking on the Google autocomplete, and then as well as just using common sense. So if you happen to just type something into Google and you don't really see any article, targeting what you just typed in terms of like the topical relevance, then you should probably try to consider writing an article about that. But as always, do your due diligence, use keyword chef, or just use your common sense and see wherever you have like a forum post or any article on the search result page that is not targeting what you just typed in, then maybe kind of keep that in the back pocket in terms of an article that you should write. But if you want to know more information about the specific topics or methods used or tools that I used to generate all of the articles for these two websites, then head on over to Passive Income Geek, and he pretty much does a really good way of explaining, how to get the ball rolling, so to speak. And as far as overall performance, you can see that for the month of January 2022, the total article count is now at around 631, and the total page views for the month is about 2,000 page views higher than last month at about 27,000. Total revenue is $97, and the reason why it's a little bit lower than last month is because I had basically just moved over the website number 1 to Ezoic, and that's the only revenue that I'm counting for the month. So as these months start to progress forward, I really am anticipating that the revenue obviously will start to increase substantially. But, one of the cool things about this is that, as you go through your day-to-day activities and whatnot, you kind of start to wonder, like, all right, well, am I really doing enough? Am I really adding enough content? Am I getting enough page views? But if you have a website or maybe even a couple of websites, go ahead and create a little spreadsheet like this, because it can really start to open your eyes in terms of the overall progress. So even if you notice your portfolio is starting to consolidate, like from last month to this month, look how far you've come. I mean, since Halloween all the way up to this past month, I've gone from 3,600 page views in total all the way up to almost 30,000 page views. And, that can really help put it into perspective that over the course of 3 or 4 months, I've basically gone from nothing all the way up to 30,000 page views every month. And this is going to keep growing month over month, especially as I start to add more articles and all the articles start to rank. So don't really get too caught up in the weeds and lose the forest for the trees, that kind of analogy. Just keep your head down, keep cranking out content, because volume is the name of this game, in my opinion. Good quality volume, albeit. But as you start to really double down on the proof of concept, pour gasoline on it, scale it up, then you will see results. And that's kind of depicted here. And as far as like my overall goals for 2022, I'm really going to try and focus on website 1, and that's why I kind of have the sort of projections out for the year for that website in particular. So I have about, let's say, like 300 page views, or not 300 page views, 300 articles published in total on average. And I'm trying to be really conservative in terms of the average page views that I'm currently getting as of this past month. And that was about 68 page views. And an EPMV, a little bit optimistic, but I think that's very doable in terms of having it be at around $15 per 1,000 visitors. So goals for 2022, I want to have roughly anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000 articles published by the end of the year. And you can see that, okay, I have 300 articles published, 20,400 page views. I'm already beating that. So using this current estimate that I'm currently getting, and I do anticipate these page views on average to go up, but to be conservative, I'm using what I'm currently getting. And at around, let's see, like 1,000 page views, I'll be getting, wow, look at that, like 68,000 page views for 1,000 articles published. $1,000 a month, hey, I'll take it. And same thing for the 2,000 published articles. As you can see, you start to really scale up the business And as it generates more revenue, then you can throw all that back into content, scale it out even further. So I do anticipate these earning potential estimates to start increasing month over month substantially. And what's really interesting is the potential valuation, because that kind of does go into the overall value, if you will, of the business. And using I think it was like a multiplier of about 40. I'll have to go back and check. But, end of year, I mean, this could be easily a $1/10,000,000 valuation asset. And for just simply hiring and outsourcing writers and publishing a ton of content on this one website. Remember, I have 2 of them. This is just the one that I'm focusing on. Potentially it could be worth over $1/10,000,000, and that's pretty amazing. So as time goes on, again, I do expect these estimates to go up, especially as I start to crank out more content. But yeah, I just really find it fascinating to kind of break things down, see where you've come from, where you're currently at, and then taking that and then applying reasonable projections to see where you can go in the future and take the necessary steps to get there. So anyways, this was just a little quick update, and if you guys liked it, then feel free to comment. Let me know how I did, what y'all want to see in the next one. But with all that being said, I'll catch y'all later. See ya.